This is not the Snow White you grew up hearing. This is the real, brutal story. A tale of jealousy, betrayal, a poisoned heart, and a girl whose beauty nearly cost her life. In the heart of a winter palace, where snow fell like drifting feathers from a silver sky, a lonely queen sat by her window sewing. As she worked, her needle pricked her finger, and a single drop of bright red blood fell onto the untouched snow outside. The color struck her, red, white, and the deep black of the ebony frame around her window. Softly, almost like a wish escaping her heart, she whispered, "If only I could have a child with skin as white as this snow, lips as red as this drop, and hair as black as the ebony wood." Fate listened. She gave birth to a daughter who looked exactly like her wish. A child so beautiful, so delicate, that the entire kingdom whispered her name with awe. They called her Snow White. But joy does not always stay. The queen's health faded quickly, and soon the king stood alone with a newborn in his arms. Snow White would grow without a mother's warmth. Time passed, and the king remarried. The new queen was breathtaking, beautiful in a way that could command a room. But beauty was the only thing she cared about. Her heart, unlike her face, was cold. In her chamber, she owned a mirror unlike any other, a mirror that never lied. Every morning she asked, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" And every morning it replied, "You, my queen, are the fairest of all." Until one day, it didn't. Snow White, now only 7, yet glowing with innocence and a beauty far beyond her years, had grown into someone the world couldn't help but admire. The mirror answered, "You are fair, O queen, but Snow White is fairer." Something shattered inside the queen. Jealousy turned to bitterness, and bitterness into hate so sharp it cut deeper than any blade. One day she summoned the huntsman. Her voice was calm, but her eyes burned with poison. "Take Snow White into the forest, end her life, bring back her heart as proof." The huntsman led Snow White deeper and deeper into the woods until the palace disappeared behind the trees. When he raised his knife, Snow White looked up. Frightened, innocent, trembling. "Please, don't hurt me." That single plea melted the huntsman's resolve. He could not kill the little girl whose eyes held only purity. "Run," he whispered, "run and never return." He let her go and killed a wild boar instead, taking its heart back to the queen. She believed it, and in her twisted satisfaction, she ate it. Snow White wandered through the forest for hours, branches scraping her dress, shadows moving like living things. The forest seemed alive, watching, whispering, waiting. She was just a child, lost and terrified, until she saw a tiny cottage glowing softly in the clearing. Inside were small chairs, small plates, small beds, everything crafted with charming care. Exhausted, she nibbled crumbs of bread, sipped a little water, and tried each of the 7 beds until she finally sank into the smallest one and fell asleep. That night, 7 dwarfs returned from the mountains where they mined precious ore. Their pickaxes clinked softly as they stepped into their home and froze. Someone had eaten their food, someone had touched their belongings, someone had slept in their beds. And there, in the smallest bed, lay a girl with skin like snow and hair like midnight. When she woke, fear filled her eyes at the sight of 7 strangers. But their kindness soothed her. She told them everything. The queen, the huntsman, the forest. The dwarves offered her a home. They asked only that she keep their cottage warm and tidy. In return, they would protect her with their lives. Every morning before leaving for the mines, they warned her, "Your stepmother is dangerous. Don't open the door for anyone." But evil does not tire. When the queen learned through her mirror that Snow White still lived, her rage became a storm. She disguised herself as a peddler woman selling laces. Snow White, naive and trusting, allowed her in. "Let me lace your bodice tighter, child," the old woman said sweetly. The moment the queen pulled the lace, Snow White's breath vanished. She fainted, collapsing like a fragile doll. The dwarfs returned, cut the lace, and saved her. But the queen never stopped. The next day, she returned with a poisoned comb. One touch, and Snow White fell again. The dwarfs saved her. The queen was furious now, unhinged. She prepared her deadliest weapon yet, a poisoned apple, beautiful enough to tempt an angel. Disguised as a farmer woman, she returned to the cottage. Snow White refused to open the door, so the queen sliced the apple in half. "I'll eat the white side," she said. "You take the red." Snow White trusted what she saw, a harmless old woman enjoying her share. But the poison lay in the red side. One bite, just one, and Snow White fell forever still. This time, no lace could be loosened, no comb could be pulled out. The dwarfs cried for 3 days. They built a coffin of glass, for death could not dull her beauty. They placed her upon the mountain, where her stillness looked almost like sleep. One day, a prince riding through the forest saw the girl inside the glass coffin. Her beauty struck him like lightning. He asked the dwarves if he may take her, not out of possession, but reverence, as if something about her reminded him of purity the world had forgotten. As his servants carried the coffin, they stumbled. The jolt dislodged the poisoned piece of apple stuck in her throat. Snow White gasped. Her eyes opened to daylight. The prince stepped forward, awestruck. "You're safe now," he whispered. "Come with me. Be my queen." Snow White agreed, grateful for life, warmth, and the future she thought she had lost. Their wedding was grand. The queen was invited, unaware of who the bride was. But before leaving, she asked her mirror, "Who is the fairest one of all?" The mirror answered, "You are fair, O queen, but the young queen is fairer than you." Fear crawled down her spine. She went to the wedding anyway. There she saw Snow White, alive, radiant, and truly the fairest of them all. Her punishment awaited. Red-hot iron shoes were brought forth. The queen was forced to dance in them until her wicked heart beat no more. And Snow White, the child born of winter's wish, ruled with grace and kindness. She never forgot the 7 men who saved her, and they remained her cherished friends. And their kingdom? It lived in peace, because goodness once threatened had risen stronger than ever.